It's that time of the year again, the end of the year. And this is where a lot of us are either thinking, oh my gosh, there's so much more I have to accomplish, or thinking, okay, a new beginning is coming, here's my opportunity. And some of us are not thinking at all. But for those of you that have one of the first two options on their mind, welcome to this video. This is about planning. I've always been a person that likes to write things down, draw things, even create voice notes to keep a note of what is going on in my life. Because it's not that I don't remember or I don't think that I'm going to remember, but it makes it better for me to construct actual plans. So when I write something down, I'm able to revisit it and then be like, oh, this as well, and this as well, and this as well. And then when you follow up on that same note or on that same page in that same journal, you realize that it finally becomes a complete idea that you can follow. I think planning is such an important thing because sometimes we have these grand visions of what we want to see in life. We have these detailed perspectives that we want manifested in our reality. So we get motivated when we have these visions, and then the day passes and maybe another day passes and we still kind of feel a little bit of that motivation. Some time passes, maybe a week, and before we know it, we forget what exactly was the spark of that motivation. And then we lose interest into what we were doing and why we were doing it. So this is where planning becomes an essential part of life. Because when you plan, or rather when you just write things down, you're able to have a clear picture of where you're going, why you're going, what you're doing it for, and it's something concrete that you're able to always go back to. You're able to go back and say, well, maybe I could do it different, and you could edit and change or modify what you originally had written down so that you could act better and do better in your current time. Another reason that writing things down or planning is important is that it helps you know where your mind was at a certain period in time. Let's say you were going through a period of high stress. You writing at that time, whether you're writing in a journal, you're writing what you want to do, it's highly influenced by different emotions. So you're writing passionately and it seems like something very sound at the time, but 4 months down the line, you may feel very differently. So by going back to your old notes, to your old planner, to your old journal, you're able to see where your mind was. You're able to have a better understanding of how your true emotions play in what you do and how you feel. You're gonna have almost a bird's eye view of how you're going to act in the future because there's a detail on how you acted in the past with those same stimuluses. As the saying goes, 1 ounce of cure is better than 1 pound of prevention. And that's because once you do something, it's way harder to fix it than it was to just do it properly the first time. Another quote that is along the same lines is, it's better to measure twice and cut once than to measure once and have to cut twice. It's all about preventing rather than allowing this negative things to happen. There's always squirrels on my balcony. Like, they came on my balcony the other day and they made a whole hut. Like, I don't live on the first floor. I live on the highest floor, and they make huts. Like I don't know. They go to the highest floor, like they bring leaf by leaf and they make a whole house. And I'm like, why? Why here? What are you doing? Sometimes I just gotta go to the squirrels and just look at them like, come on, man. Really? You know? Anyways, this is the dilemma I'm going through right now. I'm wondering if I should break their house or if I should just let them live. I feel kind of bad. I broke like 50% of their house yesterday and I feel kind of bad, so I left 50%. But then I'm gonna have, during the entire winter, a whole family of squirrels just living there. And they ain't paying for my mortgage, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll show you guys the squirrel house. All right, so here is the squirrel house. You guys let me know by the next video if I should destroy the squirrel house or if I should let them be. See this guy? So what they did is they took, because like in the summer I have gardening stuff, well, plants that are hooked on the balcony, and they just took all the gardening stuff and they put it together, and then like that's like the out layer, outer layer, and then they put like a whole bunch of leaves that they gathered from, I guess, the entire city, well, like the entire area, and they made like a bed type thing. Wow, look at this guy. He looks cold. I don't know how they got all these leaves. It's winter. There's snow everywhere. So they really planned this. But yeah. There's a quote that says, "Only the disciplined are truly free, and those that are not disciplined are slaves to their moods and to their passions." And this is something that I find to be so true. And I'm going to tell you how it ties into planning. When you plan ahead, you're able to do things in a structured way. And by doing things in a structured way, incrementally, period after period after period after period, large results can come to be through compounded interest. By doing things over and over and over again, eventually, a little by a little by a little makes a lot. This is the freedom that you're looking for. The a lot that you're looking for comes from the discipline of putting things in schedule, putting things in motion over and over and over again. When they say the undisciplined are slave to their emotions and their moods, that's because anything that happens throughout your day ends up shifting the way you think, the way you do things, what you do. And by having all these shifts all the time, you end up going all over the place. You're here, you're there, and eventually you're nowhere. You can't benefit from that same compounded interest that a disciplined person would benefit from. For me, I feel like 2025 is going to be a year of change. I could say that I've been through so much growth. There's so many things that happened from January 1st till right now that changed my perspective about love, changed my perspective about friends, changed my perspective about finances, changed my perspective about my health. Like, all of these grand ideas have been slightly shifted in my life. And I'm ready to just start living with this new information, this refined information. Now, planning doesn't have to be something tedious. It doesn't have to be something that takes you away from doing something else. It's something that you could do in between other things and even during other things. So planning looks like having an idea, writing it down in your notes. Planning looks like somebody sees you and you guys want to set up something. Okay, let's see right now what we can do. And put a date, a tentative date. Even if it's something that you can't completely commit to, it's putting the effort in the world so that it can be manifested. So it's just making those little steps that eventually then you start to realize, wow, I have my whole week planned. Wow, I have my whole month, my whole 3 months planned. And this doesn't mean that you're going to have to live such a rigid life. Because a lot of us are afraid to plan because we think that everything is going to be too organized and, I want to be more free. And that's a misconception, because you're more free when you start to do the things that you want to do. So putting them in a schedule gives you the capability to do as many things as possible. Because if you have 50 million ideas and you say, I want to do all the 50 million ideas, you're soon going to realize that you're only one person and there's many, many factors that affects you every single day. So putting down things in stone or in ink and saying, this is what I'm going to do and this is when I'm going to do it, gives you the sense of accomplishment of actually doing things, as opposed to just being a dreamer and a thinker. And then the more you do things, the more you're going to realize the limitations that you have, whether that be time limitations, whether that be limitations of health, maybe that be limitations of will, maybe you don't want to do things. But the more that you put things in schedule is the more that you put all of these options in perspective. And remember, a little bit of planning can change a lot of your life. So just organizing yourself in a different way can change everything. Hopefully it helped somebody out there, and hopefully somebody takes this information and uses it to transform themselves into the person that they know that they can become, because you deserve it. So allow yourself to have it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.